In the quiet moments before the world begins to pull at you, there is a decision being made. Most people never notice it. They wake up already reacting, already behind, already surrendered to the noise that waits for them. But a Stoic morning is different. It begins not with urgency, but with command. Not with chaos, but with clarity. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, and nowhere is that more true than in the first moments of the day. Before emails arrive, before voices demand answers, before the world tells you who to be, there is a brief window where your mind is still yours. What you do in that window shapes everything that follows. We live in an age that rewards distraction and punishes stillness. The moment you open your eyes, the world is ready to flood you with information, opinions, expectations, and fear. Most people allow it. They reach for their phone, absorb someone else's urgency, and unknowingly hand over control of their inner world. Stoicism was never meant to be a philosophy you read and forget. It was designed as a practical system for living, especially in moments like this. The Stoics understood that if you cannot govern your mind at the start of the day, you will spend the rest of it reacting to forces outside your control. This is not about building a perfect morning or following a rigid routine. It is about law, inner law, principles that do not bend to mood, comfort, or convenience. Laws that shape character quietly, consistently, and without drama. The ancient Stoics believed that strength is built before it is tested, not during the moment of crisis. A man who wakes with intention carries a different presence into the world. His words are steadier, his reactions are slower, his focus is sharper, not because life becomes easier, but because he becomes stronger. If you are still here listening, that already says something about you. Most people scroll past content like this, looking for quick motivation or entertainment. You stayed because part of you knows that discipline is not loud and wisdom is not flashy. You are not here to be inspired for 5 minutes. You are here to build something lasting. That alone places you apart from the majority. Stoicism does not promise happiness as constant pleasure. It promises something far more valuable: stability, the ability to remain grounded when circumstances shift, the ability to act with reason when emotions rise, the ability to face the day without needing validation, reassurance, or permission. Morning is where this ability is either strengthened or weakened. Every morning is a vote cast for the kind of person you are becoming. Marcus Aurelius did not write his meditations for an audience. He wrote them to himself, often early in the day, as a way to align his mind before facing the responsibilities of empire. He reminded himself that people would be difficult, that events would be unpredictable, and that his duty was not to complain, but to act with virtue regardless. That same wisdom applies now. You may not rule an empire, but you rule something just as important: your responses, your attention, your inner state. This series is not about adding pressure to your life. It is about removing confusion. When you know how to begin your day, you stop drifting. You stop negotiating with your impulses. You stop being surprised by your own reactions. Instead, you move with quiet authority, guided by principles that do not change when conditions do. Over the next parts of this series, you will learn 10 Stoic laws designed specifically for the beginning of the day. These are not habits in the modern productivity sense. They are mental positions, ways of seeing, framing, and engaging with life before it engages with you. Each law builds upon the last, forming a foundation that supports discipline, calm, resilience, and purpose. Do not rush through this. Stoic wisdom works slowly, like pressure shaping stone. You do not need to agree with everything immediately. You only need to listen carefully and allow the ideas to settle. What matters is not how motivated you feel, but how consistently you return to these principles when motivation fades. The world will not slow down for you. It will continue to demand, distract, and test. Stoicism does not try to change the world. It trains you to meet it prepared. Morning is your training ground. It is where you decide whether you will live deliberately or drift by default. As you listen, notice what resonates and what resists. Resistance often points to areas where growth is needed. The Stoics believed that discomfort is not an enemy, but a signal that something within you is being challenged, reshaped, refined. This is not about becoming emotionless or detached from life. It is about becoming unshakable, about caring deeply without being controlled, about acting decisively without being impulsive, about finding peace without needing escape. The laws you are about to learn are simple, but they are not easy. Simplicity does not mean weakness. It means clarity, and clarity is power, especially in the morning when the mind is most impressionable. Take this series seriously, not with intensity, but with respect. Return to it when your days feel scattered. Let it anchor you when life becomes loud. You are not here by accident. You are here because something in you wants structure, depth, and mastery. This is the beginning, not of a routine, but of a way of living. One morning at a time. Law 1. Control the morning mind. The moment you wake up, your mind stands at a crossroads. It has not yet chosen a direction, but it will very soon. What you allow to enter first will decide how the rest of the day unfolds. Most people never see this moment. They move straight into reaction, letting noise, urgency, and expectation rush in before awareness has time to form. By the time they stand up, the tone of the day has already been set, and it was not set by them. Stoicism begins here, not with action, but with command. The Stoics understood that the earliest thoughts of the day are the most influential. Before the world makes its demands, there is a narrow window where the mind can be steadied, aligned, and prepared. Miss this window and the rest of the day becomes a series of responses rather than deliberate choices. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself in the morning because he knew what awaited him. People would be unreasonable. Situations would resist his plans. Events would unfold without regard for his preferences. He did not remind himself of these things to feel heavy or discouraged. He did it to remove surprise. Surprise weakens the mind. Preparation strengthens it. Most people wake up expecting comfort. They expect the day to cooperate with their mood. When it does not, irritation begins. The Stoic does not wake up expecting ease. He wakes up expecting reality. That expectation alone removes a great deal of unnecessary suffering. The modern morning is filled with invasion. Messages, headlines, notifications, and opinions arrive instantly, each demanding attention. When these arrive before inner order is established, they shape emotional posture. The mind becomes defensive, hurried, or anxious without knowing why. Reaction feels like movement, but it is movement without direction. To control the morning mind does not mean forcing positivity or suppressing thought. It means choosing awareness over impulse. It means delaying judgment until reason is present. A single conscious pause at the start of the day can prevent hours of tension later. Epictetus taught that the foundation of freedom lies in understanding what belongs to us and what does not. Our thoughts, intentions, and actions belong to us. Other people's behavior, outcomes, and opinions do not. This distinction erodes easily once the day begins. Morning is where it must be restored. When the day starts without this clarity, small inconveniences feel personal. Delays feel disrespectful. Criticism feels threatening. The nervous system remains on edge, scanning for problems. Over time, this creates a constant background of stress that no amount of rest can fully repair. When the morning begins with command, the same events feel different. They are noticed but not dramatized. The mind remains flexible rather than rigid. Responses are chosen instead of triggered. Calm becomes a skill rather than an accident. Control at the start of the day creates order that carries forward. A rushed beginning produces rushed decisions. A scattered beginning produces scattered attention. The mind reflects its starting condition throughout the hours that follow. This law does not require silence, isolation, or ritual. It requires intention. Even in busy environments, even with immediate responsibilities, there is always a moment to assert inner control. A breath taken deliberately, a thought chosen carefully, a reminder that difficulty is not an exception, but a feature of life. Seneca warned that a mind without direction becomes a burden to itself. Direction does not mean rigidity, it means knowing where authority resides. When authority is internal, external events lose their ability to destabilize. Many people confuse speed with strength. Stoicism teaches restraint before action. True strength is the ability to pause, assess, and choose wisely. The morning is the training ground for this strength. When control is absent at the beginning of the day, energy leaks through impatience, frustration, and distraction. Even productive days feel draining. When control is present, effort feels cleaner. Focus sharpens. Decisions feel lighter. The Stoics believed human beings were made for contribution, not comfort. This does not mean rejecting rest or pleasure. It means refusing to let comfort dictate conduct. A disciplined morning aligns action with purpose before temptation interferes. This practice builds trust in oneself. Each morning you take control. You reinforce the belief that you can govern your reactions. Confidence grows quietly from this repetition. Not confidence based on outcome, but confidence rooted in self-command. Failure will happen. Fatigue, emotion, and stress will interfere. Stoicism anticipates this. The discipline is not perfection, but return. Each return strengthens the habit. Regret is often born from reaction. Words spoken without thought. Decisions made under pressure. A controlled beginning reduces these moments before they arise. Freedom, in Stoic philosophy, is not the ability to follow impulse. It is the ability to resist it. Control at the start of the day is an act of freedom. This law does not promise comfort, it promises steadiness. Steadiness survives chaos, disappointment, and pressure. Morning is where steadiness is trained. Guard it carefully, return to it daily. Everything that follows depends on this foundation. Law 2. Accept the day. Every morning brings with it a quiet tension. It exists before any event has occurred, before any word has been spoken, before any problem has appeared. This tension is born from resistance. Resistance to what might happen. Resistance to what could go wrong. Resistance to the fact that the day will not unfold exactly as imagined. Most people wake up unconsciously, fighting the day before it even begins. Stoicism teaches the opposite approach. The day is accepted before it is lived. Acceptance is not resignation, it is clarity. It is the understanding that reality does not need permission to exist. When you accept the day as it is, you remove the emotional friction that drains energy before action even starts. The Stoics believed that much of human suffering comes not from events themselves, but from the refusal to accept them. Morning is where this refusal must end. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that whatever happened during the day was part of the natural order of things, not because it was pleasant, but because it was inevitable. When the mind accepts inevitability, it stops wasting energy on protest. That energy becomes available for reason, action, and virtue. Most people confuse acceptance with weakness. They believe that if they accept difficulty, they are giving up control. In truth, resistance gives control away. Resistance locks the mind into emotional conflict with reality. Acceptance frees the mind to act intelligently within reality. When the day begins with resistance, everything feels heavier. Delays feel insulting. Obstacles feel unfair. Other people's behavior feels personal. The mind remains tense, scanning for confirmation that the world is against it. This tension accumulates quietly, leading to irritability, impatience, and exhaustion. When the day begins with acceptance, the same events are experienced differently. Obstacles are expected. Delays are anticipated. Human imperfection is understood. The mind remains flexible. Flexibility is strength. A rigid mind breaks under pressure. A flexible one adapts. Epictetus taught that we must distinguish between what happens and our opinion about what happens. Acceptance removes unnecessary opinion. It strips events down to what they are rather than what we wish they were. This does not eliminate emotion, but it prevents emotion from escalating into suffering. Accepting the day means acknowledging that inconvenience is part of life, that plans will change, that effort does not guarantee outcome, that people will misunderstand, disappoint, or resist you. None of this is an injustice. It is the nature of human existence. Mourning acceptance prepares the nervous system for reality. Instead of bracing against imagined threats, the mind settles into readiness. This readiness allows for faster recovery when challenges appear. You are not shocked by difficulty because you did not promise yourself ease. Seneca wrote that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Resistance fuels imagination. Acceptance dissolves it. When you stop arguing with what is, the mind becomes quieter. In that quiet, perception sharpens. This law does not remove ambition, it refines it. You still pursue goals, you still take action, but you do so without emotional attachment to outcome. Action becomes cleaner. Failure becomes information rather than identity. The modern mind is trained to expect smoothness. Technology, convenience, and instant response create the illusion that life should cooperate. When it does not, frustration erupts. Stoicism cuts through this illusion. Life owes nothing. Acceptance restores balance. Beginning the day with acceptance does not mean liking everything that happens. It means recognizing that liking is irrelevant to reality. You are not required to approve of circumstances in order to respond wisely to them. This practice reduces internal conflict. Instead of fighting what cannot be changed, attention shifts toward what can be influenced. Energy is conserved. Focus improves. Calm becomes accessible even in disorder. Many emotional reactions are fueled by the belief that something should not be happening. Acceptance removes that belief. The event remains, but the emotional spike fades faster. Recovery time shortens. Composure returns sooner. Accepting the day also changes how you treat others. When you expect imperfection, you are less surprised by it. This does not excuse poor behavior, but it prevents emotional overreaction. Responses become measured rather than impulsive. Marcus Aurelius believed that anger often arises from unmet expectations. Adjust expectations and anger loses its foundation. Mourning is where expectations are set. Acceptance sets them realistically. This law does not ask you to lower standards. It asks you to separate standards from entitlement. You can hold yourself to high standards without demanding that the world conform to them. Over time, acceptance builds resilience. Each challenge becomes less threatening because it is familiar. The mind stops catastrophizing. Perspective widens, patience grows. Resistance drains energy before action begins. Acceptance preserves it. This preserved energy becomes available for discipline, focus, and creativity. There will be mornings when acceptance feels difficult, when fatigue, stress, or emotion resists it. Stoicism does not deny this, it prepares for it. Acceptance is practiced, not perfected. Each morning you accept the day, you reduce internal struggle. Each reduction strengthens clarity. Each moment of clarity improves decision-making. Freedom in Stoic philosophy is not freedom from difficulty. It is freedom from unnecessary suffering. Acceptance is the gateway to that freedom. This law does not make life passive. It makes it navigable. You move with reality rather than against it. Morning acceptance shapes the entire day. What is accepted early loses power later. This law stands beside the first. Control prepares the mind. Acceptance steadies it. Together they create a foundation that pressure cannot easily shake. Law 3. Act with purpose. Every morning presents a quiet question, though most people never hear it. What is the point of today? Not in a dramatic sense, but in a practical one. Why will you act? Why will you speak? Why will you move? Without purpose, action becomes noise. With purpose, even small actions carry weight. Stoicism teaches that life is not improved by doing more, but by doing what matters with intention. Purpose is not excitement, it is direction. Many people confuse the two. Excitement is emotional and unstable. It rises and falls without warning. Purpose is steady. It remains even when motivation disappears. When the day begins without purpose, effort scatters. You move constantly, yet feel as though nothing meaningful is being built. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that he was born for a task, not a grand fantasy, but a role, defined by reason and contribution. He did not wake asking what would please him, but what was required of him. This mindset transforms the day from something to endure into something to fulfill. Acting with purpose means knowing why you are doing what you are doing before you do it. This does not require knowing the entire future. It requires clarity about the present, what deserves your attention right now, what action aligns with your values, what response reflects the person you are trying to become. When the day begins without purpose, distraction feels irresistible. The mind searches for stimulation because it lacks direction. Time is filled, but not invested. At the end of the day, fatigue arrives without satisfaction. This is not because the day was difficult, but because it was unfocused. Purpose creates structure. Structure does not restrict freedom, it protects it. Without structure, impulses take control. With structure, choice becomes intentional. Stoicism values structure because it channels energy toward virtue rather than waste. Epictetus taught that we are not disturbed by events, but by confusion about how to respond to them. Purpose removes confusion. When you know what you are aiming toward, decisions simplify. You do not debate every option. You measure it against purpose and act accordingly. Acting with purpose also protects against regret. Many regrets arise from actions taken without reflection, words spoken to fill silence, decisions made to escape discomfort. Purpose slows the moment just enough for reason to intervene. This law does not demand constant intensity. It demands alignment. Even rest can be purposeful when it serves recovery. Even silence can be purposeful when it prevents unnecessary conflict. Purpose is not about speed, it is about direction. Modern life encourages constant motion. Movement is mistaken for progress. Stoicism rejects this illusion. Progress requires intention. Without it, motion becomes exhaustion. When you begin the day by acknowledging purpose, priorities emerge naturally. Not everything deserves equal attention. Not every request deserves a response. Purpose acts as a filter, conserving energy for what truly matters. Seneca warned that being busy without direction is a form of slavery. You become owned by tasks rather than guiding them. Acting with purpose reverses this relationship. Tasks serve you, not the other way around. This practice does not require rigid planning. It requires clarity of values. When values are clear, actions align more easily. When values are vague, decisions become heavy. Acting with purpose also stabilizes emotion. When challenges appear, they are placed in context. They are obstacles on a path, not personal attacks. This perspective reduces emotional volatility. Purpose is especially important in the morning because it frames the entire day. A purposeless beginning invites distraction. A purposeful beginning invites focus. Focus compounds. What begins clearly often continues smoothly. Many people fear purpose because it implies responsibility. Responsibility means ownership. Ownership removes excuses. Stoicism embraces this. Responsibility is not a burden. It is a source of dignity. Marcus Aurelius believed that dignity comes from fulfilling one's role well, not perfectly, but sincerely. Acting with purpose honors that belief. It transforms ordinary moments into meaningful ones. This law also protects against comparison. When purpose is clear, other people's paths lose relevance. You measure success by alignment, not applause. This quiet confidence reduces envy and insecurity. Acting with purpose does not eliminate uncertainty. It makes uncertainty manageable. You may not know the outcome, but you know the direction. That is enough to act calmly. There will be days when purpose feels distant. Fatigue and emotion will blur it. Stoicism anticipates this. Purpose is not rediscovered once. It is reaffirmed daily. Each morning you remind yourself why you act. You strengthen resolve. Resolve is not stubbornness. It is commitment to meaning over comfort. Purpose also refines ambition. Ambition without purpose chases validation. Ambition with purpose seeks contribution. The difference is subtle but profound. When action aligns with purpose, effort feels lighter. Even difficult tasks carry a sense of rightness. This reduces burnout and increases endurance. Purpose does not demand grand gestures. It lives in small decisions: how you listen, how you respond, how you handle frustration. These moments shape character more than achievements. The Stoics believed that virtue is practiced, not proclaimed. Acting with purpose turns values into behavior. Without action, values remain decoration. This law strengthens the foundation built by the first two. Control steadies the mind. Acceptance aligns it with reality. Purpose gives it direction. Together, they transform the morning from routine into preparation. Acting with purpose does not guarantee success. It guarantees integrity. Integrity outlasts outcome. Each day will test this law. Distraction will invite you away from it. Convenience will tempt you to abandon it. Return to it anyway. Purpose is not found. It is chosen. Morning is where that choice is made. Law 4. Practice. Voluntary discipline. Discipline is often misunderstood as punishment, restriction, or force. Many people associate it with harshness, denial, and suffering. Stoicism teaches something far more precise. Discipline is not about making life harder. It is about making the mind stronger. When discipline is chosen voluntarily, it becomes a source of freedom rather than limitation. Every morning presents countless small choices. Sleep longer or rise. Delay responsibility or face it. Seek comfort or accept effort. These choices appear insignificant in isolation, yet together they shape character. Stoicism places great importance on these small decisions because they are made when no one is watching. This is where integrity is formed. Voluntary discipline means choosing effort even when ease is available. Not because ease is wrong, but because constant ease weakens the will. The Stoics believed that a mind accustomed only to comfort becomes fragile. When difficulty arrives, such a mind collapses. Discipline prepares you for reality before reality forces its lessons upon you. Marcus Aurelius practiced restraint even as emperor. He limited indulgence, simplified habits, and reminded himself that excess dulls the mind. He understood that luxury, when unchecked, erodes appreciation and resilience. Discipline restored balance. Modern life removes friction wherever possible. Food arrives instantly. Entertainment is endless. Discomfort is avoided. While convenience is not inherently harmful, dependence on it is. When the mind expects comfort at all times, resistance feels unbearable. Voluntary discipline reintroduces controlled resistance. This law does not demand extreme behavior. It demands intention, choosing the slightly harder path when it serves growth, standing up promptly instead of lingering, speaking thoughtfully instead of impulsively, acting now instead of postponing. Epictetus taught that self-control is the foundation of freedom. Without it, desires rule behavior. With it, choice returns. Voluntary discipline is the training ground for this control. When the day begins with discipline, momentum forms. Momentum is not speed, it is continuity. One deliberate action makes the next easier. The mind begins to trust itself. Trust reduces internal negotiation. Less negotiation means less wasted energy. Discipline also clarifies values. What you are willing to endure reveals what you care about. When actions consistently align with values, confidence grows quietly. This confidence does not rely on external validation. It is earned internally. Many people wait for motivation before acting. Stoicism reverses this order. Action creates motivation. Discipline precedes desire. When you act despite reluctance, the mind adapts. Resistance decreases over time. Voluntary discipline also protects against regret. Regret often arises from avoided effort, words left unsaid, actions delayed. Discipline reduces avoidance. It encourages engagement with life rather than retreat from it. This law strengthens resilience. When you regularly choose effort, difficulty becomes familiar. Familiarity reduces fear. Fear loses influence. You begin to meet challenges calmly rather than emotionally. Seneca wrote that we suffer more from anticipation than reality. Discipline addresses this by grounding the mind in action. Action dissolves imagined difficulty. The task rarely proves as painful as avoidance suggests. Practicing discipline in the morning is especially powerful. The mind is most malleable. A disciplined beginning sets a tone that carries forward. The day feels structured rather than chaotic. Voluntary discipline also refines pleasure. When indulgence is occasional rather than constant, appreciation returns. Simple things regain their value. This balance creates contentment. Discipline is not about denying joy. It is about preventing dependency. Dependency weakens autonomy. Autonomy strengthens dignity. The Stoics believed that dignity arises from self-mastery. Mastery does not mean control over others. It means control over impulses. Each disciplined choice reinforces this mastery. This law does not ask you to suffer needlessly. It asks you to tolerate mild discomfort to avoid severe discomfort later. Short-term effort prevents long-term regret. Discipline also stabilizes emotion. When behavior is consistent, mood becomes less dominant. You act based on principle rather than feeling. This creates predictability in conduct, even when emotions fluctuate. Many people fear discipline because it feels restrictive. In reality, lack of discipline is more restrictive. It binds you to impulse, habit, and avoidance. Discipline expands choice. Voluntary discipline builds trust between intention and action. When you say you will do something and follow through, self-respect grows. This growth compounds. This practice will meet resistance. The mind prefers ease. Stoicism acknowledges this. Resistance is not a signal to stop. It is a signal to proceed deliberately. Over time, disciplined actions require less effort. What once felt difficult becomes natural. This is not because effort disappears, but because resistance fades. Discipline also protects focus. When impulses are managed, attention sharpens. Distraction loses appeal. The mind remains present. This law does not demand perfection. It demands consistency. Missed days will happen. Return without self-punishment. Discipline paired with self-respect endures longer than discipline fueled by guilt. Voluntary discipline also prepares you for unpredictability. When external discipline arrives through circumstance, it feels less overwhelming because you have practiced restraint internally. The Stoics viewed adversity as training. Discipline turns ordinary mornings into training grounds. Each choice becomes a rehearsal for larger challenges. This law complements the previous ones. Control steadies the mind. Acceptance aligns it with reality. Purpose directs action. Discipline sustains effort. Together they create inner strength that does not depend on mood or circumstance. Discipline is not loud. It does not announce itself. It operates quietly, shaping behavior over time. Morning is where it is chosen. Choose it willingly. Law 5. Guard your attention. Attention is the most valuable resource you possess, yet most people give it away without resistance. From the moment the day begins, countless forces compete to claim it. Messages, worries, memories, plans, and distractions all demand space in the mind. Stoicism teaches that what you attend to determines the quality of your inner life. Scattered attention produces a scattered mind. A guarded attention produces clarity, calm, and strength. Every morning, attention wakes before intention. If left unguarded, it drifts toward whatever is loudest or most familiar. The Stoics understood that the mind naturally follows habit unless guided by reason. Guarding attention does not mean isolating yourself from the world. It means choosing where your awareness rests rather than allowing it to be pulled. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that his mind should not be dragged by external events. He believed that attention placed on the wrong things creates unnecessary disturbance. When the mind fixates on what it cannot control, peace dissolves. When it remains focused on what it can influence, steadiness returns. Most people believe that stress comes from too much to do. In reality, it comes from too much attention given to what does not matter. Attention scattered across trivial concerns drains energy without producing meaning. Stoicism redirects attention toward what serves character rather than comfort. Guarding attention begins with awareness. You notice where your mind goes when it is not directed. Does it replay conversations? Does it imagine problems that have not arrived? Does it compare itself to others? These habits feel automatic, but they are learned. What is learned can be unlearned. Epictetus taught that we must train ourselves to respond only to what deserves response. Not every thought deserves engagement. Not every stimulus deserves reaction. Attention is a gate. What passes through shapes the inner environment. When attention is unguarded, the mind becomes reactive. Emotional spikes increase. Focus fragments. Decisions feel heavier. When attention is guarded, the mind becomes selective. Calm strengthens. Clarity improves. Modern life profits from distraction. Endless information is designed to capture attention, not to enrich it. Without deliberate defense, the mind becomes a marketplace rather than a sanctuary. Stoicism insists that the mind be treated with respect. Guarding attention does not require force. It requires redirection. When awareness drifts, you gently return it to what matters. This return is a form of training. Each return strengthens control. Many people confuse attention with effort. They believe that paying attention means straining the mind. Stoicism teaches the opposite. True attention is relaxed and focused. It is not tense. It is steady. When attention is placed deliberately, tasks feel lighter. Conversations become clearer. Presence deepens. This presence improves both performance and connection. Attention also shapes emotion. What you focus on grows. When attention rests on grievance, resentment grows. When it rests on gratitude, contentment grows. The Stoics did not deny emotion. They understood its dependence on focus. Guarding attention in the morning sets the tone for the entire day. A distracted beginning invites distraction later. A focused beginning creates momentum. Seneca warned that people waste much of their life on things that neither improve them nor bring peace. Attention wasted is life wasted. Guarding attention is an act of respect for time. This law does not demand constant concentration. It demands discernment, knowing when to engage and when to withdraw, knowing when thought serves action and when it becomes rumination. Guarded attention also protects against unnecessary comparison. When awareness is directed inward toward values and effort, external measurement loses influence. Confidence stabilizes. Many anxieties are born from attention placed too far into the future. Guarding attention anchors the mind in the present. The present is manageable. The imagined future often is not. Marcus Aurelius believed that the present moment is all that truly exists. Attention placed here strengthens effectiveness. Attention placed elsewhere weakens it. Guarding attention also refines listening. When awareness is not divided, understanding deepens. Miscommunication decreases. Relationships benefit. This law strengthens discipline. When attention is managed, impulses lose power. The mind remains responsive rather than reactive. Guarding attention is a practice, not a trait. It must be renewed daily. Distraction will return. Return attention without frustration. This practice reduces fatigue. Mental exhaustion often comes from constant switching rather than effort. Focus conserves energy. Guarded attention also clarifies values. What you consistently attend to reveals what you prioritize. Adjustment becomes possible once awareness exists. This law does not isolate you from reality, it filters it. You engage with what matters and release what does not. Over time, guarding attention becomes natural. The mind learns where to rest. Calm becomes accessible even amid noise. This law builds on the previous ones. Control steadies the mind. Acceptance aligns it with reality. Purpose directs action. Discipline sustains effort. Attention protects all of them. Without guarded attention, the others weaken. With it, they endure. Attention is not infinite. Spend it wisely. Morning is where it is claimed. Law 6. Endure without complaint. Suffering becomes heavier the moment it is announced. Pain deepens when it is narrated repeatedly in the mind. Stoicism recognized this long before modern psychology named it. The Stoics understood that hardship is inevitable, but mental suffering is optional. Complaining does not remove difficulty, it multiplies it. To endure without complaint is not to deny discomfort, but to refuse to add unnecessary weight to it. Every day contains friction. Plans resist. People misunderstand. Effort meets obstacles. These are not signs that something has gone wrong. They are signs that life is functioning as it always has. Most people greet this friction with protest. They speak it aloud, replay it internally, and reinforce it emotionally. Stoicism teaches a quieter response. Marcus Aurelius wrote that complaining about what happens is to argue with nature itself. Nature does not listen. Complaints do not persuade reality to change. They only disturb the mind that voices them. When endurance replaces complaint, energy is conserved for action rather than wasted on resistance. Endurance is often mistaken for suppression. It is not silence forced by fear. It is restraint chosen by reason. It is the decision to face difficulty directly without dramatizing it. This decision preserves clarity. Complaining feels relieving in the moment. It creates the illusion of release. In truth, it extends suffering by keeping attention fixed on what hurts. The mind rehearses the problem repeatedly, amplifying its emotional charge. Endurance interrupts this cycle. Stoicism does not demand indifference. Pain is acknowledged. Difficulty is recognized. What is rejected is the habit of emotional amplification. The Stoic asks not how to avoid hardship, but how to carry it well. Epictetus taught that events themselves are neutral. It is our judgments that label them unbearable. When you remove the judgment, the event remains, but its power diminishes. Endurance without complaint is the practical application of this principle. When the day begins with the expectation of ease, hardship feels unjust. When the day begins with acceptance of difficulty, hardship feels normal. Normal events do not provoke outrage. They invite response. Complaining also weakens influence. People who constantly voice dissatisfaction lose credibility. Their words carry less weight. Endurance commands respect quietly. It signals strength without announcement. Many people complain not because the situation is severe, but because attention is undisciplined. Attention locked onto discomfort magnifies it. Attention redirected toward response diminishes it. Endurance without complaint strengthens resilience. Each time you face difficulty without verbal or mental protest, the nervous system adapts. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. Seneca warned that the habit of complaining makes even minor inconveniences feel unbearable. He believed that tolerating small discomforts prepares the mind for larger ones. Endurance is trained incrementally. This law does not ask you to suffer in silence indefinitely. It asks you to choose the appropriate response. When action is possible, act. When change is unavailable, endure. Complaining does neither. Endurance also sharpens perception. When emotion settles, solutions become visible. Complaints cloud judgment. Calm reveals options. Modern culture encourages expression without restraint. Every frustration is aired. Every discomfort is validated. Stoicism offers a counterbalance. Not all expression is helpful. Some weakens resolve. Enduring without complaint does not isolate you. It stabilizes you. From stability, communication becomes clearer and more effective. When words are used, they carry intention rather than emotion. This practice also protects dignity. Dignity is preserved when one remains composed under pressure. Loss of composure invites regret. Endurance prevents unnecessary self-exposure. Marcus Aurelius believed that the mind must remain its own guardian. Complaints invite intrusion. Endurance keeps the inner space intact. This law does not eliminate the need for rest or reflection. It removes the habit of mental protest. Rest restores strength. Protest drains it. Many people confuse complaint with honesty. They believe that voicing frustration is authenticity. Stoicism distinguishes between awareness and indulgence. Awareness observes. Indulgence magnifies. Endurance also refines patience. When you stop resisting what cannot be changed immediately, patience emerges naturally. Patience is not passive waiting. It is active steadiness. This law is especially important under pressure. Pressure exposes habits quickly. A mind trained to endure remains functional when others collapse. Endurance without complaint also improves leadership. People follow those who remain calm in difficulty. Calm signals competence. Panic signals uncertainty. This practice reduces regret. Many regrets arise from words spoken under emotional strain. Endurance slows speech. Silence becomes protective. The Stoics believed that character is revealed not in comfort, but in adversity. How you endure reveals who you are becoming. Complaints often arise from unmet expectations. Adjust expectations and complaints fade. Endurance begins with realistic anticipation. This law does not deny the value of communication. It refines it. Speak when speech serves purpose. Remain silent when it serves ego. Over time, endurance becomes natural. The impulse to complain weakens. Calm replaces agitation. Strength accumulates quietly. This law builds upon the previous ones. Control steadies the mind. Acceptance aligns it with reality. Purpose directs action. Discipline sustains effort. Attention protects focus. Endurance preserves energy under strain. Without endurance, the others erode under pressure. With it, they hold. Endurance is not celebrated loudly. It is felt internally. It builds a resilience that does not need applause. Mourning is where this resolve is set. Expect friction. Meet it quietly. Law 7. Choose deliberate silence. Silence is often misunderstood as emptiness, but for the Stoic, it is a form of power. Silence creates space. Space allows clarity. Clarity enables wise action. In a world that constantly encourages reaction, expression, and noise, the ability to remain silent becomes a discipline. Not silence born of fear, but silence chosen with intention. Every day presents moments where speech feels necessary. An impulse arises to explain, defend, justify, or respond. Most people follow that impulse without reflection. Words spill out before thought has settled. Stoicism teaches restraint at this point. Not every thought deserves a voice. Not every emotion deserves expression. Marcus Aurelius believed that unnecessary speech weakens the mind. He reminded himself to speak only when words served reason or duty. Silence for him was not withdrawal from life, but protection of inner order. When speech is reduced, attention sharpens. Modern culture celebrates constant expression. Opinions are shared instantly. Reactions are broadcast publicly. This creates a habit of externalizing thought before it matures. The Stoic approach is slower. Thought is examined privately before it is released, if it is released at all. Silence prevents escalation. Many conflicts grow not from events, but from words spoken hastily. Silence interrupts this chain. It allows emotion to settle. Once emotion settles, perspective returns. Epictetus taught that speech should follow understanding, not precede it. When words come first, understanding often never arrives. Silence creates the conditions for comprehension. Choosing silence does not mean suppressing truth. It means choosing the right moment to express it. Timing matters. Words spoken too early lose impact. Words spoken too late lose relevance. Silence helps identify the proper moment. This law is especially important in the morning. Early speech often sets the emotional tone for the day. Complaints voiced early linger. Frustrations expressed early spread. Silence preserves neutrality until intention is established. Silence also strengthens listening. When you are not preparing to speak, you hear more clearly. Understanding deepens. Misinterpretation decreases. Relationships benefit from this clarity. Many people fear silence because it exposes thought. Without noise, the mind must face itself. Stoicism does not avoid this confrontation. It embraces it. Silence reveals what needs discipline. Choosing silence also conserves energy. Speech requires emotional investment. When words are wasted, energy is wasted. Silence preserves strength for action. Seneca warned that excessive talk scatters the mind. He believed that the wise person speaks sparingly, not because they lack ideas, but because they respect them. Each word carries weight when silence is the default. Silence also protects dignity. Words spoken in anger or frustration often produce regret. Silence prevents these moments before they occur. Dignity remains intact. This law does not demand constant quiet. It demands discernment, knowing when speech serves purpose and when it serves ego. Ego seeks expression. Purpose seeks outcome. Modern environments reward quick responses. Messages expect instant replies. Stoicism resists this pressure. Delay is not neglect, it is consideration. Choosing silence also reduces emotional contagion. Emotions spread through words. When you withhold reactive speech, you prevent escalation in yourself and others. This practice strengthens self-control. Each time you resist the urge to speak impulsively, discipline grows. Over time, restraint becomes natural. Silence also refines thought. Ideas develop fully before being shared. This leads to clearer communication when speech does occur. Marcus Aurelius believed that inner dialogue should be examined carefully. External dialogue even more so. Silence ensures that what leaves the mind aligns with reason. This law reduces noise internally as well. When speech is restrained externally, internal chatter often quiets, calm deepens. Silence also enhances presence. When not speaking unnecessarily, you occupy the moment fully. Attention sharpens. Many misunderstand silence as weakness. In truth, restraint requires strength. The ability to withhold reaction signals control. Choosing silence also improves judgment. When words are delayed, options appear. Alternatives are considered. Decisions improve. This law protects against unnecessary conflict. Not every disagreement requires engagement. Silence allows some conflicts to dissolve on their own. The Stoics believed that peace is preserved not by winning arguments, but by choosing which arguments matter. Silence is the filter. Over time, silence becomes comfortable. The urge to fill space diminishes. Calm occupies the gap. This law complements endurance. Endurance carries difficulty. Silence prevents it from spreading. Silence also supports attention. Fewer words mean fewer distractions. Focus strengthens. This practice does not isolate you. It refines interaction. When you speak less, others listen more. Morning silence sets the tone for thoughtful engagement later. Words become deliberate rather than reflexive. Choosing silence also strengthens authority. People trust those who speak intentionally. This law does not eliminate communication, it elevates it. Silence is not absence, it is preparation. This law builds on the others. Control steadies the mind. Acceptance aligns it with reality. Purpose directs action. Discipline sustains effort. Attention protects focus. Endurance preserves energy. Silence guards expression. Together they form a resilient inner structure. Silence is chosen, not imposed. Morning is where this choice begins. Law 8. Remember your mortality. Every morning, whether acknowledged or not, is a gift. It is not guaranteed, not owed, and not promised again. The Stoics believed that forgetting this truth weakens judgment and inflates trivial concerns. Remembering mortality sharpens perception. It strips away illusion and brings life into focus. When the day begins with this awareness, priorities realign naturally. Most people avoid thoughts of mortality. They treat it as something distant, uncomfortable, or morbid. Stoicism treats it as clarifying. The awareness of finitude does not darken life. It gives it weight. When time is seen as limited, attention becomes deliberate. Energy is no longer wasted casually. Marcus Aurelius frequently reminded himself that life is short and uncertain. He did not dwell on death to invite fear, but to remove distraction. Knowing that time is finite prevents postponement. It encourages action aligned with values rather than impulse. When mortality is forgotten, people drift. They delay important conversations. They tolerate misalignment. They chase trivial rewards. They assume there will always be time later. This assumption weakens urgency and dilutes purpose. Remembering mortality collapses illusion. It reveals that many anxieties are insignificant. Minor slights lose importance. Ego softens, perspective widens. The mind becomes less reactive and more discerning. Epictetus taught that death is not frightening. Fear arises from false beliefs about it. When mortality is accepted as natural, fear loses influence. Acceptance frees attention for living well rather than avoiding the inevitable. Beginning the day with this awareness does not mean constant contemplation. It means quiet acknowledgement. This day matters because it may not repeat. This moment matters because it will pass. Many emotional reactions stem from the belief that something will last forever. Frustration assumes permanence. Grief resists change. Remembering mortality dissolves this resistance. Everything changes. Nothing remains fixed. This law refines behavior. When you remember that time is limited, patience increases, pettiness fades, choices become intentional, words become measured. Modern life encourages endless postponement. Entertainment distracts. Comfort numbs urgency. Stoicism cuts through this. Mortality restores seriousness without heaviness. Remembering mortality also deepens gratitude. What is temporary becomes precious. Ordinary moments gain significance. Presence strengthens. Seneca warned that people live as though they have unlimited time. This illusion leads to waste. Awareness of mortality restores discipline. This law does not remove joy, it intensifies it. Joy becomes grounded rather than frantic. It arises from appreciation rather than escape. Mortality awareness also strengthens courage. When fear of loss diminishes, action becomes easier. Risk is evaluated rationally rather than emotionally. Many fears dissolve under this lens. Fear of embarrassment, fear of judgment, fear of failure. When placed against the certainty of death, these fears shrink. Marcus Aurelius believed that remembering mortality encourages virtue. Virtue becomes the measure of a life, not comfort or recognition. This law also tempers anger. When time is short, prolonged resentment feels foolish. Forgiveness becomes practical. Remembering mortality does not mean obsessing over death. It means respecting life. It means choosing actions that withstand reflection. This awareness clarifies relationships. Petty conflicts lose appeal. Meaningful connection gains priority. The Stoics believed that each day should be lived as if it were complete. Not perfect, but whole. Mortality awareness supports this mindset. This law also sharpens discipline. When time is limited, procrastination loses its justification. Action becomes immediate. Many people wait for motivation to act. Mortality awareness creates motivation by removing illusion. Remembering mortality also reduces envy. Comparison feels pointless when paths are finite and unique. This law strengthens resilience. When loss occurs, it is painful but not shocking. Acceptance cushions grief. Mortality awareness also enhances humility. No one escapes time. Ego softens under this truth. This law supports calm. When outcomes are temporary, pressure decreases. Effort remains. Panic fades. Beginning the day with this awareness grounds ambition. Goals become aligned with meaning rather than validation. This law does not remove sorrow, it contextualizes it. Sorrow becomes part of life, not a disruption of it. Remembering mortality also refines attention. Time wasted becomes visible. Adjustment follows. This practice does not isolate you from life. It immerses you more deeply. The Stoics believed that death gives life structure. Without an end, there is no urgency. Mortality awareness also improves decision-making. Long-term values outweigh short-term comfort. This law builds inner strength. When you accept impermanence, you stop clinging. Clinging creates suffering. Remembering mortality prepares you for loss without numbing affection. Love deepens because it is finite. This awareness also reduces anxiety. Fear often imagines endless consequences. Mortality sets limits. The day feels different when you remember it will end. Time becomes intentional. This law stands near the end for a reason. It reframes all others. Control steadies the mind. Acceptance aligns it with reality. Purpose directs action. Discipline sustains effort. Attention protects focus. Endurance preserves energy. Silence guards expression. Mortality gives meaning. Without this awareness, effort loses depth. With it, every action gains weight. This law does not demand sadness, it demands honesty. Mourning is where honesty begins. Law 9, remember impermanence. Every morning you step into a world that is quietly changing. Nothing you see today will remain exactly as it is. Not circumstances, not people, not emotions, not even you. The Stoics believed that forgetting this truth distorts judgment and inflates trivial concerns. Remembering impermanence restores balance. When the day begins with this awareness, perspective sharpens and unnecessary suffering loosens its grip. Most people live as if things will stay the same. They assume tomorrow will resemble today. This assumption creates attachment. Attachment creates fear. Fear distorts behavior. Stoicism breaks this chain by reminding the mind that change is the natural state of all things. Marcus Aurelius returned to this idea repeatedly. He reminded himself that everything visible is temporary and everything external is borrowed, not to invite despair, but to prevent illusion. When illusion dissolves, clarity appears. When clarity appears, calm follows. Remembering impermanence does not make life cold, it makes it vivid. When you know that moments will pass, attention deepens. You listen more carefully. You speak more thoughtfully. You act with greater care. Many emotional reactions arise from the belief that discomfort should not exist or should last forever. Impermanence removes both beliefs. Difficulty is expected. Duration is limited. The mind relaxes when it understands this. Epictetus taught that distress arises when we cling to what is not ours to keep. Health, reputation, status, and even relationships exist outside our control. Remembering impermanence weakens clinging. When clinging loosens, suffering softens. Beginning the day with this awareness reduces shock. Loss feels painful but not unjust. Change feels disruptive but not catastrophic. Emotional recovery accelerates because the mind was not promised permanence. Impermanence also dissolves urgency born of fear. Many people rush not because action is required, but because they fear loss. When impermanence is accepted, action becomes deliberate rather than frantic. Modern life encourages the illusion of permanence. Digital records, constant access, and endless storage create the sense that nothing truly disappears. Stoicism counters this illusion. Everything passes, nothing holds still. Remembering impermanence refines attachment. You still care, but you do not cling. You still love, but you do not possess. This balance deepens relationships rather than weakening them. Marcus Aurelius believed that change is not destruction, but transformation. What leaves creates space for what arrives. When the mind resists change, it resists life itself. Impermanence also reduces ego. Status fades, recognition passes, comparison loses meaning. When time erases all positions, humility becomes natural. This law clarifies priorities. What is temporary but meaningful deserves attention. What is temporary and trivial deserves release. Discernment improves. Many frustrations arise from resisting inevitable change, aging, shifting roles, evolving relationships. Impermanence reframes these transitions as natural rather than threatening. Remembering impermanence also strengthens gratitude. What exists now is not guaranteed later. Appreciation deepens when time is acknowledged as limited. This awareness reduces procrastination. When moments are known to pass, delay loses justification. Action feels timely rather than pressured. Impermanence also stabilizes ambition. Goals are pursued with effort, not desperation. Outcome matters less than conduct along the way. The Stoics believed that suffering intensifies when we demand permanence from what cannot provide it. Impermanence removes this demand. Remembering impermanence also improves patience. When situations are seen as temporary, waiting becomes tolerable. Emotional spikes soften. This law does not deny grief. It prepares for it. Grief still arrives, but shock diminishes. Acceptance cushions pain. Impermanence also reduces resentment. When nothing lasts, holding grudges feels pointless. Release becomes practical. The mind becomes lighter when it stops trying to freeze moments. Flexibility replaces rigidity. Remembering impermanence does not remove ambition or effort. It removes illusion. Effort becomes grounded. Ambition becomes ethical. This awareness strengthens resilience. When circumstances shift, adaptation feels natural rather than traumatic. Impermanence also deepens presence. When you know moments pass, attention rests fully in them. The Stoics believed that wisdom begins with seeing reality clearly. Impermanence is central to that clarity. This law reduces fear of change. Change is no longer interpreted as loss, but as movement. Remembering impermanence also tempers joy. Joy becomes calm rather than frantic. It is enjoyed without desperation. This awareness prevents overinvestment in externals. Inner stability increases. Impermanence also clarifies identity. You are not fixed. Growth becomes possible. This law supports acceptance. What changes is expected. Resistance fades. Remembering impermanence also enhances discipline. When time is finite, effort matters. This awareness does not isolate you from life. It grounds you in it. The Stoics believed that everything flows. Wisdom lies in flowing with it. Impermanence removes illusion without removing meaning. This law strengthens the foundation built so far. Control steadies the mind. Acceptance aligns it with reality. Purpose directs action. Discipline sustains effort. Attention protects focus. Endurance preserves strength. Silence guards expression. Impermanence sharpens perspective. Without this awareness, effort becomes anxious. With it, effort becomes calm. Nothing stays. That is not a threat. It is a fact. Begin the day remembering this. Law 10. Live by virtue. Virtue was never meant to be abstract. For the Stoics, it was practical, grounded, and lived daily through action. Virtue was not a label or an identity to be claimed. It was a standard to be met moment by moment. To live by virtue meant aligning thought, speech, and action with reason, regardless of circumstance. This alignment was the ultimate measure of a life well lived. Many people search for happiness as a feeling. Stoicism redirects this search toward character. Feelings fluctuate, circumstances change, character endures. When life is guided by virtue, emotional stability follows naturally, not because life becomes easy, but because the mind becomes coherent. Marcus Aurelius believed that nothing external could harm a person who lived according to virtue. Loss, criticism, failure, and hardship could affect comfort, but not integrity. Integrity was invulnerable. To live by virtue was to build a life that could not be shaken internally. Virtue, in Stoic thought, is not moral perfection. It is commitment to reason. It is choosing what is right over what is easy. It is acting with wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control, even when no reward is visible. Many people act based on outcome. They adjust behavior according to reward or punishment. Stoicism rejects this dependency. Virtue is practiced for its own sake. When action depends on outcome, conduct becomes unstable. When action depends on principle, conduct becomes reliable. Living by virtue simplifies life. Decisions become clearer. When faced with a choice, the question is no longer what feels good or what looks impressive, but what aligns with reason and character. This clarity reduces internal conflict. Epictetus taught that no one can force you to act against your own principles without your consent. External pressure only succeeds when internal discipline is absent. Living by virtue strengthens resistance to such pressure. Virtue also anchors identity. When identity is built on status, approval, or success, it shifts constantly. When identity is built on character, it remains steady. This steadiness produces confidence without arrogance. Living by virtue does not guarantee recognition. Often, it invites resistance. Integrity can make others uncomfortable. Stoicism accepts this cost. Approval is not the goal, alignment is. Virtue also refines ambition. Ambition guided by ego seeks validation. Ambition guided by virtue seeks contribution. The latter endures setbacks without bitterness. Modern culture often treats ethics as optional or situational. Stoicism treats virtue as non-negotiable. Circumstance does not excuse misconduct. Pressure does not justify compromise. Living by virtue also reduces regret. Regret arises when actions conflict with values. When values guide action consistently, regret loses its foundation. Virtue strengthens trust. Others may not always agree with you, but they learn to rely on your consistency. Consistency builds credibility. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that his role was not to be admired, but to act justly. Admiration fades, character remains. Virtue also stabilizes emotion. When actions align with reason, emotional turbulence decreases, guilt diminishes, anxiety softens, calm increases. Living by virtue does not mean rejecting pleasure. It means preventing pleasure from dictating behavior. Pleasure becomes a byproduct, not a driver. Virtue also clarifies responsibility. You are responsible for your actions, not for outcomes beyond control. This distinction prevents despair. The Stoics believed that a virtuous life is sufficient in itself. External success is optional. Inner alignment is essential. Living by virtue requires courage. Courage to act when it is uncomfortable. Courage to remain silent when provoked. Courage to stand firm when pressured. Virtue also demands honesty. Self-deception undermines integrity. Honest self-examination strengthens it. This law integrates all previous ones. Control steadies the mind. Acceptance aligns it with reality. Purpose directs action. Discipline sustains effort. Attention protects focus. Endurance preserves strength. Silence guards expression. Mortality gives meaning. Gratitude balances perception. Virtue directs them all. Without virtue, these practices become techniques. With virtue, they become a way of life. Living by virtue does not eliminate struggle, it dignifies it. Struggle becomes meaningful rather than chaotic. This practice does not demand perfection, it demands sincerity. Each effort counts. Virtue also refines freedom. Freedom becomes the ability to act according to reason, not impulse. Many people wait for ideal conditions to live well. Stoicism rejects this delay. Conditions are never ideal. Virtue is always available. Living by virtue also strengthens resilience. When setbacks occur, integrity remains intact. Recovery becomes possible. Virtue is not displayed. It is demonstrated quietly. Each morning presents a choice: to act according to impulse or according to reason. This choice shapes the day. Over time, virtue becomes a habit. Habit becomes character. Character becomes destiny. This is not a philosophy to admire. It is a discipline to practice. Return to it daily. You have now walked through 10 Stoic laws designed not to motivate you temporarily, but to structure your life permanently. These laws are not meant to be memorized. They are meant to be lived. Return to them when life feels heavy. Apply them when emotion rises. Practice them when no one is watching. If this series brought clarity, continue the journey. Revisit these principles, deepen your discipline, strengthen your character. This is how a Stoic life is built. Quietly, consistently, one day at a time.